So with previous live stream, my data surprisingly restored. Fingers crossed. A little bit of LVM2 magic dumping and creativity later. The question is, with all the storage, all the mess that was storage stuff the last weeks, 4K native SSD sectors, reformatting even fiber channel drives, what lesson have we learned for our Linux distribution? Right, recurring theme Linux distribution here. And should we add a node to the installer? So the problem is that each of those drives reports this differently. So the main question, I mean, certainly we don't need to optimize for yesteryear's fiber channel drives, although we could theoretically. I mean, if you boot and your fiber channel drives has 500, all other, even NVMe SSD or stuff has 520 byte sectors, obviously you have a zero size like Linux. The Linux kernel is not passing that through. It logs unsupported sector size and reports a block size of 0. So far so good. A very edge case. I mean, we could even support that, right? Like support like warning. So the question is, how much warning should we add? And also that means how many other tools should we add, right? Just the other day we had here file, also SVN up by the way. Our data AI contributed to some updates. File system. So the question is also, should we even include this SG utils? Did I not? Where did I put them? SG utils here. Ah, base. I actually wanted to move them yesterday. Okay, they're marked as cross-compile. Because then, so like the question is, as we finally freaking, like, yeah, maybe I should also call it quits and cut here and just release our Linux distribution. But there's always, I mean, obviously, right? You have seen it here 5 years, like 25 years in the making, 5 years live on YouTube. There's always one more thing, right? If you're not stopping, so like release scheduling, so pro tip, do release scheduling better than I, because somehow I always like, yeah, but we have this thing to fix and that thing to fix, and at the end we don't ship for a year, which certainly doesn't scale. It's just that this is some major thing, like kind of major thing. I mean, we really need to cut it here soon, right? But that hopefully one of the last major things. So yeah, leave me in the comments below, because the thing is, right now we're not including this SG util. So basically, even I only ever SCSI formatted, low-level SCSI formatted 2 drives now. One 3 years ago for the Spark Station 2 that apparently really cured some bad sectors. Fingers crossed. And yesterday also the fiber channel drive. But the thing is, if you're not including it in the installer, right? So like keeping it small and beautiful and simple so that it boots on the PS3 is one thing, or 486 with that little memory. But yeah, if you don't have this tools at hand, like we probably have to add this, right? I probably currently have even some, like, yeah, how much to add, right? So I included this already because the set, I mean, we could probably, and that's, I mean, okay, if we could detect the non-4K native 512 emulated, 512 byte emulated 512E. We could detect with SmartMon, potentially even with some other SSDs, which probably we might want to. I also yesterday checked, so, but yeah, even if you use SmartMon tools to detect it, you still would need NVMe tools, and that is adding 2 more packages to our, like, yeah, where to make a cut, right? Do you need to be able to adjust the brightness of Apple Cinema displays or other USB VESA controlled things with buttons, which probably is nearly only the Apple display, Apple Cinema display. Where to make a cut, right? It's getting a little bit much, but maybe we can delete all translations if you're not doing that, or something of that sort. Why does this fail, actually? Right, I know why this fails. Ah, darn it. This fails due to Clang. This fails in X. What? Like, yeah, why have we not released yet? You update LVM Clang and the Linux kernel build breaks. Yay! I guess we test build that. Wait, this is wrong. Where do we need? We need cross. So basically, recurring theme, running even the tiniest, increasingly successful Linux distribution for all architectures keeps you increasingly full-time busy, if you haven't noticed my company putting way more weight behind that. Cross tools bin, so KCC is Kling, right? Oh no, it isn't. What? Why do I have here, how does this even work, or not even sure. I still have here some, yeah, I have a couple of, some more things to prove. How does it work through that? Not really sure then. Anyway, let's rebuild this and hope this builds for test. Still have some small things to fix. So, what was it? Minimal, right? Where did I add this? I probably thought you don't need a desktop build if you have a storage area network cluster server thing. You probably, yeah. So NVMe. So what do we have here? Ethernet tool, NVMe, smart mode. It's like maybe that first, just because. Yeah, sorting stuff. Yeah, eject is not. Probably. Do I still have MK temp in here? No, why did I? So that's not really sure why I have that commented out, because it lives. Previously was in freestanding package. Now it's part of Util-Linux or whatever. So smart mount tools, and then probably SGU utils, and then we also need to modify the installer bits. Share install, and I probably did some things. Yeah, I sorted that a little bit for reasons. Wait, do we have here some tabs or what? Oh, sorry. Usually I tab, but they were mostly not tabs. So, so I just sorted that a little bit. Maybe this was not the best choice. SG utils, and let's put that somewhere else, just to have sorted by topic. So, and then we need to consider how do we best test that. I mean, I can test this on my running system. Nothing like, hey, testing this on the running system. Dev. I mean, I wonder, is there any? I would love to be able to test this on some like 4K native SATA SSD. I mean, unfortunately, I mostly purchased Samsung SSDs. I have a couple of EFO and whatnot. It's like here, you buy some. I really hate that Google is so crappy these days. Like the Samsung NVMe Supermicro support. It's like, yeah, you need to Google, like you want to test something and you don't even know, like the information is so scarce. Apparently most drives are in advanced format since the Samsung drive. So Samsung reports. Apparently most drives are report still possible, apparently very likely. So the Samsungs are not, right? I just took this out as like famous illustration purposes only. Electrocuting, yeah. Just took it out, right? That is not. Oh, that's also discolored, cool. This decolorized from the thermal pad, amazing. So has anyone ever had a 4K native drive? Probably. So the thing is, the SAS drives I have in, where do I have the SAS drives in now? The Power 8. So that was Seagate 2X14 SAS spec Shade, is it the spec? Somewhere have the German version now. 512E, do they even 4K native? So this drive, okay, this supports fast format, so probably we could test this with this one. The question is then, does the firmware, I mean, with particular. I need to be careful not to drop this precious Mach 2 aus, because like illustration purposes only, and then dumb YouTuber drops it on the floor because I didn't find, I have boxes with screws. I didn't find any screw that go in here and wouldn't stand out for this tray to slide in. Like 2023 dumb YouTuber has drives in precious helium filled dual actuator drives in hard drive slats without screws. So ST 1400 NM, so it's supposed to be this one. Okay, this one is hyperscale. Okay, this is a bit funny. So I don't even know what this means. Does it mean that only this can be switched? So that is A81 at the end. Let's put this precious 14 terabyte drive aside. So yeah, and it's not entirely like also like vendor names, right? Hyperscale. Thank you very much. It just, I would power it on, but it's just so effing loud, right? Welcome everyone. Pedro asks, what do you mean with mixed sector size? I don't think, I mean, it isn't the biggest thing. I mean, you could theoretically fully transparently handle this in the kernel because most file systems use cluster sizes or other block sizes larger than sector size anyway. So what it's like, yeah, they might use 4K, 8K, 32K, right? The operating system could theoretically fully transparently handle that. At least for, I mean, at least atomics aside for journaling. That is, of course, like if the file system wants to atomically write half a sector, it's of course, like at least if the operating system is then like if the API would be in a way that the file system is only using read and writes of their local of their native file system cluster block size, theoretically that probably could work, but Pedro says HDD uses 4K sector size, but would be beneficial, I guess, using some other size depending on the use case. So I think, so what you mean, so why is this stuttering now, my video feed? Anyway, I think you think this 386 bug station 32-bit class, most file systems, like modern file systems, use way larger 4K, 8K, whatever the size might be. So I don't think so, unless it's user writes and the user writes with VI a tiny text file. Okay, this builds now. I think mostly the access pattern is already larger, right? So I don't think there's any small sector size. This is probably also why most people see like a 10% improvement, because most file system and user stuff is anyway 4K, like also page size, right? 386, x86 was 4K, and then also Spark and stuff, at times Spark Alpha, there are times at 8K, page size is now new modern PowerPC 64 LE Linux kernel and or ARM64 for Apple Silicon has even larger sizes, PowerPC 64K page sizes. And then if you memory map, I say this because if you memory map stuff like shared objects and other files, then you anyway have multiples of page size access pattern, right? Then you have 16K, 64K, even for not database or text user files and stuff, but every executable and shared object being memory mapped and accessed on a page, because the kernel is handling this on with page faults, and then you have full page. You only read and write full pages anyway, so they are always 4K or 1664K or even larger. I mean, but usually you don't map processors since whatever Pentium Pro and Spark and PowerPC. They even have huge pages with megabytes, 2 megabyte and 4 megabyte and whatnot, and or potentially, but whatever. Anyway, so crazy prices, by the way. I'm not that. I auctioned this new old stock for cheapskate, right? I got a complete steal on those Exos to X14, by the way. I'm not that crazy here. So also, like, yeah, pro tip: auction new old stuff from surplus server supply stuff. Save 66% with this simple trick. So create ISO. Oops. How did I copy and paste this? I don't even know what key press it is. That is a new thing. So let's create an ISO and test that. So I wonder then though, and what's this? I didn't actually not check that. I mean, maybe it's time to turn on the Power 8. Maybe tonight. Shall I subscribe? Maybe let's do that tonight. Like, nothing like ruining your storage. Like shooting yourself into your storage system by doing stuff at night. Where's a freaking data sheet for this stuff in English? Why does this give me... was it not a freaking English link? Do I need a... But here it says freaking support Seagate US. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. As ridiculous as why is this cached the second line there? So do we get... Hey, is this where we cached where we get a freaking English version? Trick 17. So, there was also a manual. Was it a manual? SaaS product manual 4KN, which is even 500 whatever ETH. This is okay. That's probably that one then. 512E 4KN. Yeah, that is 81. So, I mean, maybe we should actually look into the other and see if it really doesn't do. I mean, it's really funny that they have. I wonder why they couldn't have a. Like, why do they need 2 drives? I mean, it could be default. It would be funny if I got this drives dirt cheap because those people didn't know how to. Because I got them with they were sold with like purchased wrong product. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, maybe they purchased the 512E version and didn't know how to reformat it and stuff. Single code to support the drive sector fast format. Single code to support sector size from T10 fast format conversion between configurations in the field. But yeah, I mean, fast, I read for other products at times reformatting SAS drives 10 or 24 hours, right? So like fast conversions, like, yeah, you leave it overnight in the rack, right? Not it's that fast, it's like it's possible without someone walking in there. Okay, so the drive defaults to 512E from factory. That is what I wanted to look up. So that means either I need to get my second SAS controller out and plug it in somewhere, which probably I should do. Yeah. So, yeah. What I, by the way, give credit where credit is due. I really like that they give SCSI commands here, right? So that is for all the stuff, but our intellectual property and stuff. This is how all technical things, from cars, overplanes to all NVMEs and whatnot, and P3s and Xboxes and bloody freaking iPhones and Android phones, like all those commands, right? Write buffer here, block descriptors, like here in SCSI command stuff, and CDB control or whatever, the D control data or So yes, that is the default. Then I would need to reformat. This is what I wanted to check. So that so with this drive we can check that. I probably have a few other drives. How it's reported. Let's see. I have here run qim-virt.io. What have I in here right now? HDA, and okay, I can just run it like that. Probably. Except I need. This is interesting. Does it come? No, it doesn't, right? It doesn't come in. No, it's. This is grub. This is why we get this from grub. I was already wondering, because usually the Linux kernel doesn't do it. I wish it would, but it doesn't. Auto detect console TTYs. I need to someday write some auto detect code for that. Next level loves this channel. Happy to hear that. So the point of this video was not only getting our Linux distribution out released, but I was considering, because I didn't know about this, and obviously it's an edge case, or an increasingly not edge case, as you see. I have every new thing, like 2023, nearly every drive except this low quality Samsung 980 Pro NVMe SSD. Every other storage device had some sort of non-standard 520 bytes fiber channel, like new old drive, or supports 4K native, right? And I didn't even know, I knew 4K native was a thing, but I assumed for a decade that stuff would be 4K native. I just never paid attention because I never had to. So given that even I didn't know that, that is the only reason why I'm considering adding that here. So my idea is that we add, also by the way, we have SG. Why do we not have SG format? NV, okay, we have that. libkey utils. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Why does it freaking need libkey utils? Good that we tested. I probably should write some unit tests to make sure every second stage init ramfs executable is actually executable. I think it's key utils. Let's see. Like so many packages, even I don't know. So my standard typos, even I don't. Key utils. Like, you know that something is wrong with the amount of packages if I, as a full stack Linux distribution developer, can't remember each of those anymore. Darn, this means we need to include it here. That also truly sucks, honestly. So much. This is really getting. I really hate putting so much stuff in here for. But what is with SG format? Bin SG, is that from the SCSI generic tools? And that's also the thing, I probably have to further curate that because there is no point of including certain debug and low-level things in there that we don't need. No, this is shadow. So we probably could filter half, like surely filter half of the random, not really used, like auxiliary miscellaneous auxiliary utilities out there. SG utils, right? Did I not? SG utils? Maybe I didn't regen the config. Let's quick. So maybe data, is data still? No, data. Data did some more stuff and is sleeping already. Cool. Yeah, Mesa I wanted to check actually. So not really sure. Let's manually SG utils that maybe. Yeah, this rebuilds the config. Maybe it wasn't included due to that. Then one rebuild. So the question is then, how do we detect this? The thing is that we have SCSI, fiber channel, SATA, NVMe. I might have forgotten something. So theoretically IDE, but obviously no parallel A. Like, leave me in the comments below. Like 2023. Dumb YouTuber, surely no parallel ATA ever included support for 4K native, but prove me wrong. My newest terabyte, half a terabyte PATA drive probably is over a year old, so surely that shouldn't include. Yep, another call. That's probably what people need smart watches for. So, ISO, and then run that again. Probably should somehow I really need to automate this. I type this way too often. Why is SG format still not in there? SG utils. Maybe it didn't cross-build fully. Let's see, maybe it didn't install something. Usually it is something simple. No, there's stuff. Okay, there is way too much stuff in there. Look at all this stuff. And all we need is SG format. So I probably, yeah, I mean, that's crazy amount. Oh, there's SCSI temperature. I didn't even know about that one. I knew about this. Yesterday we used HDD temp, right? I didn't even, yeah. Like, I hope you learned something. Even I, 25 years building a Linux distribution, curating every file. Even I knew it had this overload of debug utilities, but like, wow, even temperature thing. I mean, but by the way, seeing that here, in my opinion, there should be an S-bin, right? Like, let's maybe fix it. It's a little bit procrastinating and maybe some people would say unfocused or so, but otherwise I forget about it and it could be lasting, because this is this new thing, right? Where big players, they spend 20 millions to create yet another RPM-based distribution fork, and they install everything in user local, they install everything in user and everything in bin. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. In my opinion, it is a small thing. It's mostly a path lookup thing, and it's a little bit of a sorting thing. But leave in the comments below. Yeah, there's nothing in there. I'm really surprised that such major things. SG3 utils, of course. Okay, the naming is a little bit the naming is what should I say? What kind of makefile do we have in here? Okay, we have configure, so maybe we simply switch bindir. I mean, a normal user should not have access privileges to generic SCSI things anyway. So if this is, they probably surely have zeros as bindir handling in here then, right? Like here, also 2023, or probably since 20 years already, this stuff like configure, testing shit for nothing, and like, yeah, it's generic stuff and then not used, so yeah. I think we can, like, it is pointless, so what, obviously I'm not patching that into there, it's pointless, you can just configure that to whatever you want. And the other question would be, should it be renamed to SG3 utils? I'm not sure what other Linux distributions, but I kind of hate version. It's probably like we had it like this forever. It probably stays like this forever, because like it is the third implementation or so of SCSI generic for Linux, but yeah, that might solve that. So yeah, let's see if that works. Such tricky. Also, we want to uninstall it. Yeah, but I mean, I guess the name, it's too unimportant to change now, I guess. Oh, darn, I nearly, nothing like, it would not be the first time to, thankfully it's not white, no, would not be the first time to install something. How did, okay, they have a G, yeah, I hate such package names, even if Gentoo has it named like this. I don't know. Is it worth to rename it? Okay, Arch also has it as... I mean, yeah, we usually name stuff. What did I build this wrong? We usually name packages after the source tarball, but if the name is just too stupid, which probably I thought it is in this case. Okay, this installed. So this simple trick was enough to install this. Of course, it will not change to include this into the second stage installer. Not sure what's going on there. I need to debug that. Maybe some, like surely some travel type or something. Whatever, I guess. So, but the question is then, what do we use to detect this? Because the NVMe utility only works for NVMe, usually PCIe attached NVMe. Wait, we also don't have smart control in there? Why is that? Oh, this SG stuff is actually in there after all. Maybe I just completed this. Yeah, all this stuff we obviously don't need. Okay, this works now though. Why do I have not smart control in there? Maybe I simply... Maybe did I SG without underscore? Maybe I tab completed that wrong, or whatever the case might have been. Or I forgot to run some command script. So targets, share install, and then build stage. Smart control stuff is actually not in there. Smart tools. Yeah, so the init is getting a little bit fat, but we probably need to put it on a diet. Maybe it's also time to put it somewhere differently sorted. What did we just add? SG utils, right? Okay, that's actually not too bad of a place. Okay, maybe I just put smart tools here. Maybe it would have been historically better to leave some spaces there than... Did we even build this? Than filling everything. It's usually better for div. It would be scripts config x86 packages. Okay, that's enabled. Let's rebuild the ISO. But again, obviously adding all this stuff is making it too large for PS3, so oh, God. Maybe that's the reason why it's not in there. That extremely sucks. More. Okay, I would need to add major trickery. That of course sucks. Maybe I even added it once. Now I somehow vaguely remember. That extremely sucks. Because I would need to add, like, I obviously can't add all of GCC just for the, like, this is obviously some implementation deficiency here. Okay, that's so much to answering the question, how do we detect this? The problem is I would love to just use this OS, but the last time I checked, the Linux kernel was not reporting the physical size, like other optional physical sizes, right? So you couldn't simply ZSFS block and stuff, SDA, NVMe for that. We can actually check that here on my running system. So target shared install here. Yeah, oops. Let's add this to the to-do that I just recovered. One tools and installer, but something that's what. No, C++. So then we could for now use NVMe. What was NVMe Linux 4KN? That it's not ideal, so that of course doesn't work there, but here. So that's in better, and that's in only good. But we can check that with, so that is in good. So let's check this FS, but I double checked that already some days ago, but nothing like triple checking that. I think this was also somewhere stupid, like in Q, because I grabbed that here, like I saw size here somewhere, but no. I think this was in Q, which is a little bit, no. There is sector size, and yeah, minimum IO size, optimal IO size. So like, yeah, for what do we have these fields if they suck? So thanks for nothing. I mean, it's hardware. It's like, yeah, I mean, this is a little bit misleading. I'm sure the Linux kernel is just one-to-one pathing through what the Linux kernel get there from SCSI and NVMe fields. It's just not like, yeah, it's pointless, right? If it's like, it's not filling optimal IO size, and that's not virtualization, that's native. So we could do smart that needs libc stdc++, which I will not for this, like maybe in a later release, but not today, because that's too much fiddling, even for my taste, last minute. So there's a limit of last minute changes. This FS doesn't export it. I mean, maybe we could peel this out of some SCSI generic, but that would also not work. Like, yeah, so apparently let's do that for now. So that would be, maybe I even have it to do already here. And I think I prepared that here, LA format. Didn't even have to Google that if I have it in my to do. And if we add, so that is if it is, yeah, and then not in use. So that is one, and that's the other. Can it do two? No, it cannot do two. It does the first. So yeah, basically a 4K and not in use. The question, we don't have VI here, right? The idea would be, I know I just closed it, very clever. Let's try to script it. Stone mod install. And then like add, where do we have for all blocks, disk add. So that would probably be here. And just closed it, so that was not very clever. If you're an EFI magician and there is a way to detect this, I quickly pre-checked that, but I didn't find something instantly. Like if it, leave in the comments below if you're an EFI guru, meditator, Master Jedi, and like can we detect for EFI what the standard in and out is? So otherwise we could time it, like we could print something, and if it takes longer than some nanoseconds, then it's not directly mapped frame buffer. So I added partition table of VDA, and here I would include a warning, right? Oh, we can't even test it easily. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, we could test it by inverting it though. So, I mean, we could prototype it maybe. So what would be no action, right? How would this even, do we have here warnings? Command, do we have like, here is something. Command, here, so yeah, we have, we would need to check. So the idea would be like if it's, like ideally everything, but that is later, but so how do we, that's already half of the work, right? We can't have it too long. So how should we, that's usually half of the time, right? Just polishing texts, labels, UI design. Warning, should we call it 4KN? I mean, it's not, I mean, it's the firmware is running, it's like likely not running, it's like, yeah, likely not formatted. 4KN for, I mean, very theoretically, because, I mean, if we wanted to go full on overboard, because most normal users would not even, like I yesterday, notice the 520 sectors for the 520 sector previous video. We could detect this too. I would need to plug it in though then. I mean, of course with smart control. I wonder if smart control, you know what, why not plug it in though? Nothing like having dual processor, Ultra Spark. Do we have that? Let's boot that. Well, how did I leave it? I probably left it as, oh, it's not the worst thing. I anyway need to reinstall it. If it's standing in front of my feet, then at least I'm. Should we include 4K? I mean, we could write here advanced for more 4K. The question though is, I mean, the thing is, it obviously shouldn't look like shit, right? We have theoretically 512 bytes or other crazy sector sizes. But maybe the 520 byte sector size warrants a, what do I have here even? Oh, this boot's already, cool. Timeout so short, I didn't press fast enough. Probably for 520 bytes the method should be another. I also wonder if this drive is 4K native capable. Actually, I wondered this yesterday, but then I remember I thought I better don't try it because I worry the firmware in Zilo is too old to deal with 4K native sectors. So yeah, probably that. Should this be a warning? Actually, I again wrote running. Formatted with unsupported sector size. We could then include this in the diagnostic. But leave in the comments below. I mean, of course, maybe no other Linux distribution even has that. Alright, maybe I don't have a Getty on this. Very clever. New T2 installations will do it. This is why we... where's my... I lost my OBS. Smart control. Right, I actually looked at the smart control and it didn't include that here, right? I wonder if you can get SCSI get but maybe it only does 512 and so the problem is I can't test it now anymore because I reformatted it. Where's even my 20? So smart control doesn't show it for this drive for reasons. For NVMe it did that, so okay, I turned it basically. By the way, we could check if this SCSI temp thing does something on. Oh, it does something. So why does SCSI temperature read a temperature and smart control not? I mean, that is simply stupid. Like this is, it's like why? I mean, sure, maybe it's, I mean, it's probably not exporting those fields, but this is this kind of stuff like, nah, broken by design. Standard committee. Alright, I wanted shit. Okay, but I can't test it anyway. I mean, maybe, so now that I think about this, maybe I need to order a second drive like this. Just because I'm not even, I would hope the Linux kernel. So where would we see that? The question is, does the Linux kernel expose this in ZFS? And no, I can't test it without reformat. And I'm not feeling lucky enough to reformat this drive completely again. That is, sometimes it's like, if I destroy this drive with a second format for nothing, I gain nothing. So often it's cheaper to spend another 20 bucks to get a second drive than to ruining that one. Because here, for NVMe drives, it did output that. Supported LBA sizes. Like, yeah. Okay, plus apparently is the currently used one, I guess, so. So that is that one, let's save that. I would really love to have, I mean, but probably yeah, I would need a compatible drive for that. Alright, I can check actually with a Power 10. I need racks full of stuff handy. Should I also switch on the open power? Just still a bit loud, right? And also, I think the open power thing did not boot gracefully nicely, or did I fix that already? Yeah, pro tip, leave your, like if you build a data center, leave your machines in such a state that they just boot. Okay, I can check this with this drive, at least this drive, but you also see like you have 10 drives and all support it differently, so yeah, so probably if where do we here we have type pci-x. Do I also have LVM somewhere? I checked for LVM2. Did we not somewhere check for? So that would be NVM. Okay, because sometimes this type P printed out NVM. Yeah, it prints this out. Do we have this in quite? I mean, we could then just, yeah, we need that apparently. I probably should hide. Ah, we have definitely. Oh, okay, overlooked this. So if we have the NVMe command, because sometimes we might not have it, because otherwise we need to protect this. Otherwise, if you run this on whatever vintage and minimal builds, you might not have it. So if type P did I have that here already? Probably not. If that and test, that probably should work like that. I mean, maybe we don't need to check. Maybe we could just get away with just running it and hiding any error. But yeah. Where did I have that? I had that somewhere already. So yeah, if that, I mean, basically, yeah, if it has that, and that doesn't match in use, I guess should be enough. I mean, we could also, maybe it's more readable if we open here a complete new block. And then if that on that device, is it full or is it a full path? If we run this on all, do we get an error for? Probably this errors out with whatever, right? Okay, we also need to hide that thing. I mean, we could match an NVMe, but we could also just run it if people use creative persistent storage naming. Probably not so much harm. I mean, maybe we should also cache that, not to rerun this command every time you interact with a menu, but details. So if that is, so basically that hiding error. Is it probably is valid syntax, right? Yeah, probably this is a syntax. Is this first? Yeah. Okay, that works without. Certainly I don't want to have random error messages scrolling by. Asks PS2 patches. 666 sounds. I mean, the patch is in there, right? They usually, the name should be quite. Self-explanatory. Using 66. What 666? 6666. This patch. I mean, it literally says it there, right? Free system memory, bandwidth, and simply. Some of the stuff were tests, right? They might not be. It's disabled because it's not necessarily fully working. We should make a dedicated P3 video, but the thing is, due to the different bandwidth limitations, reading from the VRAM from the PowerPC core is extremely slow. 6 megabyte per second or something is crazy slow for reasons. And so that's why to make frame buffer blending fast, so Sony developers back in the day have chosen to allocate some fixed memory. What is it? Rambus system memory, 9 megabyte by default, I believe. So this is rewriting this to a rather complex affair. It was mostly working, so it's not like not using 9 megabyte of system memory. Maybe I changed this to 1 megabyte. It was working in theory. It had some bugs. Of course, it changes that reading then like that just anyway. Share, like, subscribe for more P3 videos. But yeah, if it's disabled for a reason. It's documenting. It's possible. Not like we will probably do that to save probably around 8 megabyte of memory, but it needs more work and testing, which so I need to share, like, subscribe. And although you already Patreon, but yeah, we need more Patreons, so share, like, subscribe, and spread the word. That's what this test was. So NVMe ID namespace or whatever -h for. Actually, I wanted to check what the disk at. Okay, we are iterating all of this stuff. So we remove this block. Do we add def? We don't add def, I guess. So volumes, I guess. So that is a raw that needs a. So that's the name. So that needs a def prefix. Unfortunately, do we have that here? Maybe better this block, whatever. cd ls. What do we even do here? We name this. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so then that is def 1, argument 1. Welcome there also. So grabbing that. Did I even somehow mistype that? Whatever reason. So NVMe details here. Query the details. Grabbing that and. So probably, so we want to match that. So we might get 2 lines. So it's probably unlikely, but maybe not impossible. We probably could get away with grabbing if that matches. I mean, maybe we should for a test. I'm only worrying that we get 2 lines. We never know, creative. Like, yeah, I mean, like following my own defensive coding tips, pro tips. I should probably prepare for multiple lines. Because if I grab here for in use, so we need a 4K line. That is not in use, right? I'm already getting confused myself here. Also, I intentionally mistyped this for error checking here. So we need, if it has a 4K line and that's not in use, so basically that. And I don't know if it's possible for people to have 2 for whatever crazy reasons. Probably not, right? Okay. So LBA or format. Yeah. And then if format does not match I think it was in use, right? I mean, we could extract the currently in use, but yeah. I mean, we could simply, like, if we do that, it's a little bit too finicky for my taste for now. We could also extract it from this FSN. So basically, so yeah, in use, if this format is not matching in use, then command warning likely not formatted, advanced format 4K. Best performance. Something of that sort. Does that make sense? And to test that, so actually we overmade, we have this in use here already, need to remove that. So if it has a line with 4K, so like theoretically we don't need that here, basically doesn't matter. And that is not in use. And actually we need, if we even have a format, if format, because it might be empty. Does this work? I always... This new stuff here is a little bit finicky. Oh, that apparently... Maybe in PDK shell. Okay, in Bash it's less finicky, and probably this... Maybe this would not work in PDK's public domain shell. So if format and this format is not in use... Oh, it might also be empty if it only is 512, by the way. So we need, so let's think about this. If it's some SCSI stuff, then it's empty. And this is not true. If it only is 512, it's also empty. So we only get this for 4K. And then it must be not in use. So if 4K not in use, so I guess. To test, we could comment it out. And we should get this always as a poor man's cheap quick test how this would look. Need to rebuild the whole installer CD. Do I even, are you not? Somehow this cursor is not even fully visible because I'm on. I probably moved that recently. Why did nobody scream? And why did I not check that? Actually, I checked it broadly, but probably not. Also, now we have. Maybe I should configure my Windows not to have this. Still 1 pixel. Oh no, it's also, it's not even the window, actually it is the Tmux menu bar thing. So then, can we manage to click the lock? So let's see if that does something for us. And then we only have, yeah, probably tonight, like probably shall I subscribe? Tonight we can switch on the open power, do some, like basically also reformatting a Seagate drive. Yay! I hope it would work the same as formatting the fiber channel drive. Although maybe the Seagate special quick format stuff is slightly different for more quicker. What was even the name for that Seagate 2x14? Probably I should use it from the browser history stuff, but why does this look so shitty? Did I even... Oh, this is not even what I wanted. How did they call it here? Yeah, they call it 4K, and maybe we should abbreviate it then like that too. Yay! Warning: likely not formatted. Advanced format 4KN for best performance. I guess I want more consistent formatting, so probably 4KN And we need that here. And then of course that. And here to do. Should this even be, I mean, is it an error? I mean, because like the other, because it basically doesn't work at all. So should we, I mean, if the Linux kernel, because it's not accessing it at all, right? So the other would be, is this a warning too? I mean, you have no partitions here, right? The Linux kernel will literally read nothing, at least in our default configuration. Maybe there are special quirks and features, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe warning too. So warning, likely not formatted advanced format 4K native for best performance. And that we need to check. I guess that makes some sense. What did we change there? Type P, NVMe, format, NVMe ID, stuff. And then I need to hunt, theoretically, I really wish there would be, are there, I mean there must be AH, 4K native, SATA, SSD? I mean, where would I don't want to go to my storage books now. Yeah, if you know about any, here's some 4KN. Nah, stuff I never, I just want a freaking SATA drive. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Even if you intentionally want to buy it, erase a document, just, yeah. I guess that is a good next step to, I mean, a lot of people will see that. For the SCSI drive, I need to test what's actually reported. But given that lots of NVMe drives, like most except Samsung, the last years have that, theoretically, maybe it's time to start a proper knowledge base thing, and then like big mega corporations, we could include here TN, like hey, like TN for T2 technical node or T2N. I mean, if you Google for TN, you find it everywhere. Like maybe the next super professional thing becoming as big as some major vendors would be then here. We could call this, I mean, TN would be a little bit lame. Also, I hate this cursor thing. Like TN, I mean, maybe it makes most sense to not have prefixes, and like T2 technical node, which would make it T3, right? T2 technical node, T2 technical, yeah. Not need to overdo it, right? Anyway, something of that sort, right? And just playing here with formatting how it looks the best. I don't know. Something that, I mean, big mega corporations have so long, like IBM probably has 3-digit stuff of technical nodes. So I think prefixing that with excessive zeros just sucks. We will probably never get more than like famous last words, Like, unlike IBM, we will probably never get more than 1,000 technical nodes. But, yeah. T2 technical node, I don't know. T2 technical node, T2, TN. I don't know, we don't have it today anyway. This was just some usability drafting. Oh, I hate native. I so effing hate. You had one freaking job and this also has freaking native moshit support. Ah, come on. Need to fucking grab it to... Oh, what is with the bloody mouse cursor now? Okay, maybe I cursed. Maybe it was whatever. Okay, probably. Maybe it was previous. Anyway, just drafting here. I'm not most happy with this naming. T2 technical node. I mean, given we have IEEE, right? So T triple. I don't know. T2 technical node. Leave them in the comments below. Maybe this makes the most sense. T2 technical node stuff, whatever. You get the idea, right? Just not the most happy with the formatting here. Yeah. Something of that sort. If you have better formatting ideas, leave in the comments below. Let's remove this drafting here that was here and then commit this soon. I hope formatted is written like this. Yeah, that is just what I was wondering. Okay, double T. Formatted. I had the feeling that this looked strange. Did nobody freaking... Probably all IT personnel here live on this channel. Okay, fine. Apparently, maybe we should actually some Oxford Dictionary stuff of. I mean, they suggest this and formatted past tense. Okay, good that we checked spelling before we shipped it. I wonder if this redirection stuff should be a little bit more system. A little bit inconsistent. Anyway, so at the position table, what was this even? Oh, right, this was this. Format, grab stuff. I mean, I will check it. The reason why I wanted to also do this now, actually, I probably tested this enough, right? Okay, let's commit this. I have to reinstall my workstation for various improvement reasons. And while doing that, on which better way to test it than on your brand new NVMe SSDs, and I want to reinstall it because I wanted to fully do it 4K native for 10% improved performance. And what better way to test this with your own stuff, right? So, question there. Pedro has more P3. Do we have full access to the RSX in other OS? Does it support OpenGL 3? patches 2018 suggest yes, but yeah. So we have full access since the other OS. So if you run in other OS, no. If you run in what the original hackers dubbed other OS++, which I still like to refer that to, if you run as other OS++, meaning running identical, like with a patched custom firmware, so patched hypervisor, if you run Linux in other OS++ mode, meaning in game OS mode, just like game OS, then yes, we have the same access as game OS and could run graphic and games as full featured as in game OS. What level of OpenGL, I don't know, probably some lightweight Vulkan might even be possible. Whatever, I mean, or maybe I'm not fully 1.0 conforming. So this we probably could, I wish my YouTube channel, if we would be as big as other car YouTubers and have million subscribers, I would do it full time, but until then you need to see me here either restoring my deleted LVM2 volume or tinkering with shell scripted installer for profit, for business enterprise profit. Not sure what, so that is GeForce 7 maybe? Is G70, so it's G70, G71 previously known as NV47. So we probably could get as full OpenGL support. So shader model, so that is GeForce 7, right? Previously known, yeah. So GeForce 7, UASC 3.0 plus. So according to Wikipedia, that would be, so we should be able to do that. Where do we have here? GeForce 7 supports, yada yada, blah blah blah. So apparently OpenGL 2.1, shader model 3. It's Vulkan not listed here. But I'm not that much into Vulkan offhand to know. Probably some sort of minimal Vulkan support should be possible, but yeah. Anyway, so what else do we have there? Newbie, but understand what's going on. We develop a Linux distribution and do some. We do I wonder, maybe we do what no other operating system has, because leave in the comments below. Does any other, surely not Windows, right? Does Windows, does Mac, I mean surely not Mac OS. Actually, what is the native block size of Apple Silicon stuff? Anyway, questions, details. All the other 2000, where are we even? Are we at 2031 Linux distributions or so? Maybe no other Linux distribution does it. Maybe no other, maybe some homebrew and stuff, but it's yeah, at the forefront of storage, enterprise, 4K native, continuing to spread the world, and or even as a reminder for me, without such stuff, I have not seen it in 10 years, and if I would not by pure chance and amazing viewer comments realize this, I might not have realized for another 10 years, right? And if that is the usability design, even in pure man's text mode, did I even, maybe rebuild this just for the exercise of testing, and one last look. And that is usability design, right? Even on the command line, you can do usability design, right? And so if there is zero, this is what discoverability is about. If there is no easy discoverability, you don't know, even on a text UI. And on a text UI, you could argue it's even more difficult to make it space efficient and stuff, because in a pretty UI, you could have a IBM or Apple or you could have a red exclamation mark, right? or a yellow, red or yellow, shit, red or yellow triangle exclamation mark, and on like mouse over some warning, or you have simply more space than on 80 column text mode stuff, or at least optimized for 80 column. Okay, this does not produce a warning, so at least this part works, doesn't syntax error. I would argue doing that here efficiently is more difficult because we don't have the luxury of some pixels, some symbols, some icons, some mouse over. So yeah, I guess that's good enough for today's testing. I will test this more, which is also why I wanted to do that now, before I wipe my LVM volume again. This to do is a nice reminder. We need to script this next. 520. Yeah, so I mean that's, yeah, even more details to test, right? Thus rotating storage, improved stone installer to born dot non 4K NVMe size or so. Probably should be fine. We will find out soon. That's it for this video. We did some stuff. As usual, yeah, if you think a little bit, I mean, you can hack something, but then it's not tested, then it might look like shit. Plus, of course, some surrounding talk and some to-do notes and so on. All right, we also have, speaking of, also I need to go to sports soon with my son, so I need to rush then. So don't forget to share, like, subscribe for sport and toys for my son and stuff. That was smart, was it? No, it was SG utils. Fixed SG utils to install into sbin, but basically prefix sbin, whatever, fixed SG utils to install into. We did that too. Amazing. And the question would be, where do we install, speaking of which, NVMe? Okay, that's even installing too. Yeah, people can do it, right? The new NVMe stuff installs to sbin, old SG utils, not, yeah, priorities. The other thing would be smart mount tools. And hey, that also installs. Like, yeah, I mean, some other people can do it. It's not like my expectations are overly, not over-expecting, right? Anyway, I have to go. Have some fun with my son. Hope you enjoyed to learn something. New amazing releases coming, of course, as usual. Like one, unfortunately, there are still like one more things, including this package doesn't build, and Clang, latest Linux kernel, yeah, details. But soon we will have an amazing release. Don't forget to Patreon, share, like, and subscribe for that. Hope you enjoyed to learn something, and see you soon for all the next fun stuff to come.